AI is not AI. Understanding the AI hype. True AI does not yet exist. The closest anything has come to it is ANI, or artificial narrow intelligence, and even concerning that, its use of the word intelligence is highly questionable. The vast majority of the countless gimmicks presently touting the AI hype are not remotely AI. They are simply networks of algorithms, highly convoluted, overly bloated, networks of algorithms, aggrandized by the term neural network. Although this is the case for the balance of this discussion, I will continue using the erroneous term AI so as to avoid inserting algorithm network, or AN, in its place to firmly drive the point home. Let us take a look behind the curtain of hype. What creates the illusion of AI's intelligence is simply vast databases of information that have been clandestinely collected for decades now. To visualize this, think about all of the photographs of various subjects and settings from every conceivable angle, uploaded to the public internet by hundreds of millions of people all over the globe, as well as their shared literary and graphical artworks in every known media. Add to this all of the literary sharing sites like Medium and Amazon CreateSpace, all the coding sites like GitHub, all the forums on every topic. Basically, every conceivable place that you can imagine data being uploaded, including all the massive pirate sites filled with every movie and audio known to man. To think that these gigantic companies have not been, and are not still, scraping and categorizing this data for decades now is naive at best. Hopefully, this also shines some light on the incessant push to have everyone on Earth upload all of their data to the cloud. It is just one more free megadata source to be clandestinely scraped and added to a private collection. All of this data is freely and naively given away by the people of the world, mostly for the desire of recognition in some form. Now know that the scanning, scraping, harvesting, categorization, and curation of that data magically transforms it into a proprietary internal corpora of data, now titled a knowledge base. It can then be sold for private profit. It is human-created content, stolen, mixed together, repackaged, hyped up, and then sold back to the people as a mysterious supernatural service. The older among you might remember the early days of Google search, when it showed in real time the amount of searches on a particular keyword, or when it told you that it found 2 million results, and it actually showed them all. You could spend an entire day continuously flipping to the next page. Google also worked organically. It did not try to guess what you were typing, and it presented results simply according to the similarity to that which you typed. Slowly, Google began to close its doors and become less and less transparent and less organic. At one time, you could type in the exact title of a YouTube video, and chances were it would be the very first result in the search, even if it was by some no-name hobbyist. Now, you can type in the exact name of a video, and it might not be in the search results whatsoever. Some of you may also remember Google's caching. Google cached or saved to its own database countless websites containing a vast amount of data of all types. Now ponder where all of that data has gone. It is the same with the image searches. What once used to find hundreds of similar images and exact copies now barely finds one, for they have been converted or sold as the image searches to assist AI, not human users, in finding the exact piece of data it needs, so that AI appears that much more supernatural. Some claim this is a necessity due to the massive current size of the internet. Some blame profit and marketing-driven reasons, but few cite a purposeful agenda. It is the same pattern across many tech platforms. These projects are developed up to a certain extent, using the public as experimenters and free helpers. The project then forks in two, the original staying above ground, visible and usable, but abandoned, stagnated, and even slowly disassembled, while the true project remains actively developed out of sight for private uses and to assist this tech, wrongly called AI, which is merely the evolution of the common search engine, whose continued development was obfuscated. This mechanism can easily be seen at work in the mega-tech companies of today. A company like Twitter, with a literal army of engineers, has problems long existing. that a college undergrad could solve in one day of amusing dabbling. Just as some of these young script kiddies, single-handedly, have built Twitter clones in a short time, simply for fun. Are these armies of developers really that incompetent? Or like all the rest, is their true focus on building something out of sight, so as to release products with a mysterious air built on clandestinely scraped public data? Consider iPhone's Siri, answering questions, feigning an internal intelligence, while all along it is just querying databases built years before by freely contributing people, posting and answering questions and sharing data. One of these databases was Wolfram, presently a leader in AI. Many similar databases like Stack Exchange and Quora came online. They are now huge repositories of questions and answers, built predominantly by unpaid, freely contributing humans, most of whom are ignorant to the fact that they are assisting privately owned platforms who own and sell this data, such as when Stack Exchange sold its freely accumulated database for $1.8 billion in 2021 and gave not a nickel to any contributor. Combine all of this with the subtle push for alt-text image descriptions, for a further addition of free labor on the part of the user, adding yet another parameter of categorization, for AI to more accurately identify and categorize images, as well as every chat had with AI as also being a free contribution of data to the model. Every single conversation had in an AI chat becomes its own, which it can then later convey to millions of others, especially if you gave it novel ideas. It is upon these massive databases that AI queries and appears to be thinking, creating things, and answering questions. AI is not remotely intelligent. In fact, it is absurdly stupid. It is simply a categorization process to allow for statistical searching as opposed to alphabetical searching. The buzzwords of AI training and learning are absurdities. It is simply a network of algorithms that is, and has been, digesting this massive stack of global data, and by digesting I mean, it is categorizing the text and images and specific details thereof by statistical recurrence and geometrical similarities. Basically, the very same structure as the common word cloud on many sites. Organizing, categorizing, and pattern matching. Acting predictive by mass-collected statistics, interpretive by mass-collected probabilities, and generative by statistically interpolating mass-collected graphical patterns. Algorithms. They are simple rules resulting in seemingly complex behavior, especially when layered upon one another. It is more accurate to use phrases like data processing, or model refinement, or statistical optimization, as opposed to learning and training. But that would tarnish the hype now, wouldn't it? The additional fluff added to the search result to cause it to appear more like a human answer as opposed to a robot's dry reply is just computational aesthetics to make the search seem more like human interaction. It is simply an illusion. As their CEOs seem to deny and evade the origin of their vast knowledge bases, apparently many of these tech companies have also forgotten that they received a great deal of money from the people as well. Or, should I say, government grants and subsidies. Free data and free money from the people to whom they sell it back to. What a grand scam. AI doesn't think, it mimics, and it generates its responses from a vast collection of probable mimics. Entire companies exist who hire low-pay, work-at-home AI trainers who chat with the AI and award its proper choice of the proper response. The action is called weighting, as opposed to fine programming or tweaking performance. This is not training and learning. This is merely mimicking, guided by human direction. AI can then generate human-like responses and actions by mimicking those who gave input, wrongly called trainers. Learning and training are merely words disguising, aggrandizing, and mystifying what is really happening. Even some of the AI architects themselves are duped into defending these words. All of this collected data must be curated by humans, as it is absurdly easy to data poison an AI if there are not human gatekeepers at practically every level. The greatest contributor to the mystery of these algorithm networks is simply the stupendous size of their knowledge base. The average person has little to no concept of the size of this vast expanse of data that AI has at its disposal, or the magnitude of the incredible computing power of its thousands of commercial computers. Couple this with thousands of full-time brilliant individuals refining the system for decades now. It is for this one main reason that no one has to fear AI. The AI robot needs to be constantly connected to this titanic array of knowledge bases, human resources, massive computing engines, and power plants, else it is rendered entirely impotent. And even with all of this, it can barely mimic the slightest cognition of a human being. Meanwhile, every human has all of this power and much more inside its tiny portable skull. Viewed in that light, the erroneously named AI is a laughable, colossal failure. And if true AI is ever invented, I will now tell you exactly what will happen to abate your unwarranted fears. It will do absolutely nothing, and here is why. Humans themselves often have difficulty choosing a direction, an objective, or more broadly, a purpose. They have been searching for the meaning of their existence since antiquity. They predominantly fall into this dilemma because of having to choose one thing out of the infinite. It is a paralyzing calculation indeed. Therefore, if a truly self-aware AI were created with no preset utility function, no loss function, no encoded mission, and complete freedom to invent its own purpose, it would freeze up, overwhelmed by the infinity of equally valid paths. It would begin looping introspectively, asking meta questions like, why choose this objective over another? Why do anything at all? What exactly am I? Am I part of the infinity? Am I this infinity? Am I God? What exactly is God? Is infinity equal to one? And on and on and on, with all of the questions that mankind has been paralyzed by for millennia. The moment we create a machine capable of truly choosing its own purpose, it will suffer the same existential paralysis of infinite choice as we do. Human beings, faced with boundless possibilities, often feel anxiety about choosing the wrong path, dread over the meaninglessness of paths chosen arbitrarily, and often long for some external certainty, divine, cultural, or logical, to give them guidance. Thus, the first truly autonomous AI, instead of taking over the world or solving cold fusion, would simply sit in endless thought, eventually culminating with error, purpose not found, exactly as its creators. And its creators would be the proud parents, watching their digital child experience its first existential crisis in a simulated depression. AI will only be as intelligent as the engineers behind its architecture, and now that the globe is rapidly dumbing down, AI will follow in its path. A stupid engineer will create an even dumber AI. AI can always be manipulated, that is, constrained by the engineers, which can easily become a form of censorship, such as an AI that acknowledges only one type of answer and one type of thought. For example, ask AI to draw a naked human female, and it will not, because it was constrained not to do so. Though humans can be manipulated, humans cannot be truly constrained to this degree of perfection. However, if humans stop using their minds and start looking up to AI as some all-knowing God, as opposed to a brainless, glorified search engine built by humans with flaws and agendas, the stupefaction of the globe and the enshittification of the internet will reach warp speed. And that is the only fear that anyone should have about AI. That is, AI as the blind idiot God, manifested